welcome back to the Women of God in Business YouTube channel. If you've never been here before or seen my face, my name is Janae Moore and I am the visionary of Women of God in Business, and I am a vessel of God's, and He is using me to bring to you the In the Bible series that we have been going through for the past 7 weeks in hopes that you would just get new insight, new perspective, new revelation on women, so many who are not talked about in the Bible, who were about their Father's business just like we are about our Father's business, walking in purpose, in hopes to inspire you, to help you walk boldly and confidently in your purpose, be about your Father's business here on the earth while we are on the earth, because we are not here for a long time and we definitely have a duty to do and complete for God. With that being said, welcome to episode 8 of the In the Bible series. Join me as we discuss Lydia. All right, y'all, get your notebooks. We only have 2 more women in this series, this being one of the 2. I'm so excited to talk about Lydia. She is one of my favorite women that I have studied. I do have some notes to share with you, and then I just have my perspective and what the Holy Spirit gives me on the fly. So here we go. Lydia was the first recorded convert to Christianity in Europe. If you're not sure what that means, it's basically someone who was not a Christian who got converted and chose to walk with God, who wasn't already walking with Him after Jesus' death, crucifixion, and raising. She was a dealer and she was a trader of purple cloth, which you can find that in Acts 16. If you don't know where I'm going with this already, Lydia was an actual businesswoman. So everyone who we've been talking about, they haven't necessarily had a physical business on the earth, but they were still about their Father's business, walking in their purpose in their own way and how God instructed them to. But Lydia was actually a businesswoman. She was a woman of some wealth and independence, and she was very successful. She was successful in her selling. If you know anything about the purple cloth in the Bible, it is a cloth of royalty. So you can assume that she was dealing with some very royal, wealthy people, and she probably had a nice amount of wealth herself. So just a little bit more backstory about Lydia. She was baptized with her household after they had listened to Paul's preaching in Philippi. She also took Paul and his companions in to stay at her home. When Paul and his companions came to the land, they weren't accepted by everyone. Some people were unsure. They were deemed as outsiders, and so they needed a place to stay, long story short. Lydia saw them and felt led by God to invite Paul and his companions into her home. No matter what people thought about that, she invited them to have a safe place to stay. So that tells me that she got baptized. She saw an opportunity to serve God and to just be a woman of hospitality, someone who could be trusted, immediately committed to the Christian faith, and in support of the spreading, because everyone was not trying to spread the gospel, and a lot of people actually got in trouble or got hurt by doing so. That also tells me that she was brave, she was courageous, and she was willing to risk her life, her business, her wealth, her clientele for the spread of Jesus Christ, the spread of the gospel, the spread of Christianity. So she was about her Father's business physically as well as spiritually. Some things that she displayed, like I said before, was hospitality, kindness, faith, devotion, strength, productiveness, and discipleship. She demonstrates the spread of the gospel and faith outside of traditional Jewish context and into the Gentile world. That's all for my physical notes, but I still have what God is just giving me now in the moment. I think a lot of us can and will relate as we just hear more about her. She's not a woman that I really knew much about before I did my study. However, just hearing that she was amongst people, amongst an environment, amongst a world who wasn't believing what she believed. It wasn't the popular thing to do, but she had such faith. She knew God, and despite what other people were doing, saying, believing, trying to stop the spread of, she chose to be a devoted follower of Christ. And that says a lot to me, the fact that she was so devoted so early. Remember, this just really happened. This is back not too long after Jesus was actually here on the earth. And so it was still a very new thing, something that a lot of people didn't know much about. And when you don't know much about something, it could be scary. You could not want to believe it. But also the fact that it was so fresh gave her such an opportunity in the beginning to be so devoted to God and to spread the gospel. So as many people could be saved as possible. And she exuded so much faith by welcoming Paul and his companions into her home where her family was, and risking kind of everyone's reputation. It says a lot about Lydia to me. The fact that she would risk her reputation, her business, her clientele, her wealth to do this, it shows you how devoted she was to Jesus and the faith. And she wasn't doing it for show. She wasn't doing it for clout. In fact, that was quite the opposite, and not the type of clout you probably wanted at that time. She stepped out of tradition, what people knew, and stepped into something new that God was doing on the earth that had never been done before, that people never saw before. And to be one of the first women to do that, just so commendable and so inspiring to me. So whether you have a physical business, some components to that would be doing good business for God. I talked a little bit about that on my podcast. Being about your business, your physical business, if you have a physical business here on earth, doing good business for God. When you are doing things for God, your business would be blessed as a result of that. The attributes that you hold as a believer, as a follower, as a woman or man of faith will carry over into your business. You will be a better business owner. You would actually be a truthful, honest, good person to do business with. Your transactions would be godly. You will hold so much wisdom just by the things that you put into your faith. It will carry over into your business, into your life, into your career. And I didn't read about Lydia losing her business. I didn't read about her forfeiting that for God. I'm assuming that God blessed her even more from what she did for him, and it translated into the blessings that came from her business. So because I'm a business woman here on earth with a physical, tangible business, and I am a woman who is about her Father's business, walking in purpose on the spiritual side, merging the two is kind of beautiful to see. Lydia, an example of that, how she balanced and how she was a woman of God about her business in both aspects. There's a lot of different things that you could take from this, but I hope that you took something from Lydia and could be inspired by her, read more about her story, and let God give you his own revelation of really truly what it means to be about his business spiritually and physically here on earth, because there's so many things that go into it. So if you are a business owner, this would be a great episode to lead you into that devotion and quiet time with God, to talk to him specifically about your business, how you could be more about his business here on earth, how that could translate into your business, how you can do business for him through your physical business. There's so many avenues that you can go in, but I hope this episode in particularly pushes you and encourages you to have that conversation with God so that he could bless your business and that you could be doing it for him in the way that he wants you to do it. Just a quick story. In 2020, I asked God, how could I glorify him through my business? My business wasn't necessarily a ministry, so I thought, or it wasn't a traditional ministry in that aspect. I was a makeup artist. I wanted to do that and pursue it full time. I'm still a makeup artist today, one of the things that I do, but I was asking God, how can I do this, which is my art, which is my passion? How could I glorify you through being a makeup artist? And he gave me, out of that conversation with him, he birthed the platform Women of God in Business, so that I could have a ministry and an outlet that could help people with their physical businesses. I could have a platform to grow with other people in business. I can also glorify him through it. So that's actually how Women of God in Business came about originally, because I was seeking him about how I could glorify him, what I could do for him, how could I make makeup about him, and still have a successful, flourishing business, but also get to touch people's lives and spread the gospel. So from that conversation with him birthed my photography business, my beauty business, my ministry, my podcast, this platform that I get to spread and talk about the gospel and also tie business into it, because like I always say in every video, we are about our Father's business, whether you have a physical one or not. We all have a business here on earth, and it is to be about his business, which is walking in the purpose that he placed us on this earth to walk in. And there's so much that we can do with that. So like I said, I hope that this episode inspires you to have that conversation with him, especially if you are a business owner here on the earth. And you don't have to be a woman. I just happen to be a woman, but it's for anyone who has a desire to be about God's business on this earth, in your life, in the way that he wants you to. That is all I have for episode 8. I am so excited to see you next week in our last episode of the In the Bible series. So until the next time, God bless you. Remember that God loves to see you walking in your purpose and being about his business here on earth. So I'll see you next week. Bye.